Greetings from the dank basement. Hi, Hannah. I am your friend, Paul Shellbetter, but you can call me Uncle Squinty. And in fact, I wish you would. It's a nickname I wear with pride. Well, congratulations. Speaking of pride, you must be very proud. Over 100 subscribers in less than 2 months, I think you said. It's pretty impressive, Hannah, and I love your videos. I'm so glad that I was one of your earlier subscribers. Yes, I'm still subscribed. And I really enjoy watching your videos. You know why? Because you're very natural and relaxed in front of a camera. I laughed because on one of your recent videos, I think it's your Black Friday video, you said you get all hyper in some of your videos. I've never even noticed that. Sometimes you get enthusiastic and animated, but never twitchy or anything. I love your manner in front of the camera. I think you're great. So always a pleasure to watch your videos, and I'm looking forward to a lot more from you, as I'm sure you're going to get a lot more subscribers. And it's not going to stop at 170 or whatever you're at now. It's going to keep going. I guarantee it. Well, you ask some probing questions, don't you? First off, no Instagram. Instagram, yay, photos. Blind guy, photos, Instagram, ain't happening. Nor am I going to make a cooking video, because this is about as sophisticated a video production as I can manage. Right here, you're looking at it, sweatshirt and all. So this will be my one entry. I hope the randomizer picks me, because your prize package sounds pretty awesome. All right, dry rub or sauce? Terrible question. You know why it's a terrible question? Because you didn't specify what kind of meat. Like, I would never use barbecue sauce on a steak. Well, I might, but it's not something I would usually do. And I'm much more likely to use a sauce on ribs than I would a dry rub, although I've done both. But that's not a cop-out. I actually use both. It just depends on the kind of meat and the mood I'm in and how I'm cooking it. If I'm pan grilling it, if I'm using my big 12-inch diameter heavy cast iron pan and I'm putting it on the hottest burner on my gas stove, I will always use a dry rub. Always. If it's a crappy cut of meat, I use a marinade. Won't use barbecue sauce though. If I'm doing ribs out on the Weber over charcoal, definitely. My favorite brand of sauce is Sweet Baby Ray's Bold, which is good stuff. I don't even know if you can get it in Washington State, but it's good. Or I make my own. But my own, it's mostly just for fun, because I think the bottled sauces are just as good as anything I can make. Sports. Yay, sports. I feel about the same way about sports as I do about Instagram. Especially coming from Minnesota. My goodness, we got a lot of sucky professional sports teams here. I mean, really, the Minnesota Twins, they make baseball even more boring. I didn't think that was possible. Minnesota Vikings, I don't even want to talk about it. It breaks my heart. The team that will never, ever, ever win a Super Bowl. Ever. It's just never going to happen. Minnesota Wild, pretty good NHL, pretty good hockey. Certainly beat the living crap out of the Mighty Ducks. Timberwolves in NBA, yeah, 500 team maybe. You want a great sports team from Minnesota, you got to watch the women play. The women's NBA. Lindsay Whalen of the Minnesota Lynx, one of the best forwards, male or female, that's ever played the game. She's fantastic. And they're a winning team, and they're fun to watch. And they're starting to sell out, and there's big crowds. It gets very exciting over at the XL Center over in St. Paul. And fun to watch. Yeah, I'm a spectator. Later on today, Sunday, I'll probably watch a little NFL and have a drink or some more coffee and smoke a pipe and sit in front of my TV down next to the fireplace here, because as I said, it is cold. But I'm afraid that both from being an overstuffed endomorph and being blind, I haven't played a lot of sports. Um, about the only sports that I've ever excelled at have been indoor, i.e., bedroom sports, but that's for another question. All right, travel. Um, I love to travel. It's difficult. Again, I hate to keep bringing up the blindness thing because it's an inconvenience. It doesn't define me, but it does make travel difficult. So I like to go to places where I know the language and I'm very comfortable. And for me, that means Latin America. That means Mexico. It means Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama. I haven't been further south than Panama, and I still have not visited Honduras or El Salvador or Guatemala, but I'm getting there. And I will eventually hit all of the Mesoamerican countries before I'm done. I love Costa Rica. I have friends there, a lot of friends, some of whom work in scandalous and questionable occupations. And they are some of my best friends down there. I party like a rock star. And read anything into that you want to. If you can imagine it, probably have done it in Costa Rica. Um, I stay at the same hotel all the time where I'm more of a member of the family than the guest, and I always get treated like a king. And so I love going back there. And in fact, if my money works out, I plan to go back in early March of 2015. I'm hoping I have 18 trips to Central America over 15 years and a total of 1,128 days traveling in Mexico or Central America. So very comfortable. I speak Spanish, more or less. And so I really enjoy being there. I love the culture, like the food, love the music, like the people very much, particularly the women who are very special compared to what I'm accustomed to knowing here in the United States, the type of woman I'm accustomed to knowing here. It's a very different mindset and actually kind of refreshing. Boy, they own it. They own whatever is sexy about themselves. They own it. Doesn't matter if she's skinny as a rail or as fat as a tank. Doesn't matter. These women know they're sexy. It's like at a root level. Doesn't matter if she's incredibly unattractive. You know, she still embraces her sexuality and, more importantly, her sexiness, her femininity. And it's so cool to be in a culture where it's perfectly okay for a guy to refer to a woman as my love and for the woman to refer back to the guy as my corazon, my heart, even though they just met. You know, it's just a social thing. It's like, hello, love, if you're a Cockney in England or whatever. You know, it's just real casual, but it still acknowledges the differences between men and women. And it's pretty cool. And I warm up to that. So Central America, that's where I like to travel. What do I geek out about? Well, I obviously geek out a little bit about going to Central America. Right? I swear to you, someday I can keep a pipe lit like a champ. It doesn't matter what the tobacco it is. Doesn't matter the pipe. If the pipe's a good smoker, I can keep her burning. I get on camera. Hana, it's a curse. Pipe goes out. Maybe because I talk too much. Think. One of these days, you realize I am going to set my face on fire. I think that this Tudor castle from McClelland might be a little damp. I know I packed it well, but I'm having a hard time keeping it lit. Or it might just be my curse because of being on camera. What do I geek out about? Sex, drugs, rock and roll. We'll take them in reverse order. I'm a musician. Well, kinda. I love to play anyway. And I really enjoy performing music in front of a live audience. I love being in the recording studio. I like writing music. I spend hours just tinkling on the keyboard. No, I don't mean tinkling on the keyboard like that. You know what I mean, tickling the ivories. That's right, I'm an ivory tickler. I also play some Latin percussion, some harmonica, and sing badly, but I love it. So rock and roll, definitely. Love music. Have always loved music. It's one of my big thrills in my life. And speaking of big thrills, we'll take it out of order. Go to sex. I think I could safely identify myself as a sex addict. Even though I'm 57 and according to the society in which I live, I am too old to have sex. I understand that's the way anyone younger than 40 thinks. Um, I know because I was younger than 40 once, many years ago. But I still just think there's something incredible about joining with a woman naked. It's certainly one of God's greatest gifts to mankind, and I love, love, love it. So sex, I geek out about sex. Drugs, not so much. And when I make the sex, drugs, and rock and roll joke, um, but I do smoke cannabis. Have for 40 years, and when the number one retina specialist in the country tells you, well, it's not legal and I can't write you a prescription, but don't change your lifestyle, you listen. And in fact, it saved my eyesight for 18 years. And I'm a little bit envious of folks who live in Washington State, Colorado, where buying cannabis for an adult is easier in many cases than buying a six-pack of beer or pipe tobacco, at least in Washington State's case. Um, so yeah, so if there was a drug that I'm heavily involved, see, I don't drink a lot of alcohol, very little alcohol. If I have a shot a month or a beer a month, that would be a lot of alcohol for me. But I do smoke frequently. So that's what I geek out about. Finally, do I cook? You bet your two-tone pink baby booties, lady. I cook. I cook like a guy. I cook guy stuff. I cook meat, meat, and I bake. I love to bake. I like making homemade bread. I think that's really lovely. And I have a bread machine which is sitting in a closet. I will probably never use it again because it's just not intimate enough. I love to punch the dough and squeeze it and squish it and knead it and work it and jerk it and blah, 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 and get it all going. I love to bake. But what I really like to make are, I guess, what you would call comfort food recipes. I love hearty soups and chili and beef stew and things like that. And I cook those very, very well. Also casseroles, something with a little pasta and some Campbell's cream of mushroom soup. You can't go wrong, right? And that's how I cook. I don't do, well, today we are using the rare shallots from Tarragon, which is, as you may or may not know, is to the northern part of Spain. Forget that. Adobo paste. No. I'm not going to put fish sauce on everything I cook because Bobby Flay says it's a good idea. Forget it. No, I cook home cooking, but I like it. And I obviously am well fed, so I must be doing something right. Don't eat out nearly often enough, but I live in a small town, don't drive. Restaurant options are fairly limited. So, if you want to eat well, you learn how to cook. Well, that's about all I got for you this morning, Hannah. I wish you 10 times the number of subscribers you currently have. Please keep doing the great videos. I love watching them. I think it's very cool that you're absolutely unashamed of enjoying aromatic tobaccos. When you first said your first tobacco, I think I saw you smoke on camera, was Waffle House. And it's like, yeah, all right. I must have Penzance, and I must have Stonehaven, and I must have, if I must smoke an aromatic, it must be Hobbit's weed, because nothing else will suffice. And it's like, oh, cop, please. I am so sick of snobs. And I'm sick. I've only been in the pipe community for like 6 months. Not even that. I really started smoking a pipe in earnest the first part of October. And I'm already up to here with tobacco snobbery. I had a friend who told me that if I admitted to anyone that I smoked Carter Hall and OTC, that I would look like an idiot. Really? Have you ever smoked Carter Hall? It's good tobacco. I mean, it's really good. Burns clean, good nicotine, doesn't bite your tongue, nice sweet flavor. I think it is topped or cased with a little something, but it's not an over the top like many American aromatics. You know, sometimes it just blows my mind. Everybody's high on Dan Tobacco's Devil's Holiday. That's another example. You know what? Devil's Holiday and Samuel Gawith Fire Dance are the same damn tobacco. I defy you to tell the difference in a blind taste test. But oh no, it has to be Devil's Holiday or I won't smoke it. Really? Really? Oh well, Stonehaven is it's rubbed between the thighs of 16-year-old Peruvian virgins in the Andes, and then it gets sprinkled with frankincense and myrrh and probably the blood of Christ, and then it gets compressed into a cake by a one-legged ox named Norman who just flops on it, and when we're done, then it is very carefully cut by froggy little brown Cuban boys, 5 years old, with their sharp little knives. Oh, please! It's tobacco. Ugh. There, see, I got myself all excised over nothing. Over nothing, I tell you. Snobbery. Oh, well, I only drink craft beers. Really? Oh, I would never touch Budweiser. Yeah, you're thirsty enough, you'll drink Budweiser. You know what? Snobbery. Who needs it? I mean, there's a couple of things I will live without forever. One of which is snobbery, and the other one is watching the Minnesota Twins ever play another game of baseball. From the dank basement, I'm your Squick and Wunkle Dinky. I hope I win, even though I only get one entry. Instagram schminstagram. You can take your Instagram and put it in your pipe and smoke it for all I care, lady. Huh. Instagram. Yeah, well, I got a photo for you.